Hello dear soulmate, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Esther. If this is your first time of seeing my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for watching. So in my previous tutorial, I taught how to make this beautiful dress that has a 180-degree flay and this ashoke drapes. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be learning how to cut the sleeve of this dress. The sleeve is a cap sleeve, and if you're interested, join me while we learn how to make this. For those of you that have not seen the previous tutorial, I'm going to leave the link in the description box so you can watch. Okay. So first thing you need to do is to get your basic sleeve, your basic short sleeve, just like this. So you're going to open it like this, and now you're going to bring another paper as I'm doing and place it. So I'm just going to attach this paper to it so that I can go ahead and extend it. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to use my tape to hold it down. So I'm going to take a ruler and come to the center point, that center line, and I'm going to extend it up. And also from this side, the part where you divided the sleeve into two parts and got the center point, you're also going to connect that line and extend it up as well. So from this side, I'm coming down by 1.25. From the two sides, I'm coming down by 1.25. You can use 1 inch actually, but I just decided to use 1.25. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to come to this center side of my sleeve and I'm going to mark 3 inches down. So you can use 3 inches, you can use 3.5, but please do not go beyond 3 inches, okay? So that you don't, mess up the design. So now that I've done that, I'm connecting it to that 1.25 I marked at the edge. I mean the two sides. As you can see, I'm just using my curve to do that. So you can also go ahead and do that, okay? So now that I've done this, I'm going to come to the upper part of this center point and I'm going to extend it with 2 inches. From that 2 inches I marked at the center point, I'm going to connect it to this point that I mark, which I told you is the half of the center from where I was using to connect my sleeve. I don't know if you understand this, but I'm going to leave a link in my description box for you to see how to draft a basic sleeve, and from there you'll be able to understand what I'm saying well. So I just connected it to the center of that side, and I'm going to use my marker to make it visible. So it's a bit pointy at that point, and I'm trying to see how I can make it to be curvy instead of being pointy. So you can be careful with this. If you want to use your free hand, trust me, you can go ahead and do so, but I think I would prefer to use my curved ruler to achieve this, although it's not really giving me exactly what I want, but at least this will still work. So just go ahead and connect them together like this, okay? For those of you that do not understand, just watch the video from the link in my description box. And for those that have not seen the previous video of how we make the dress, it's a princess dad bustier dress, I'm going to leave the link in the description as well, so you can also go ahead and watch it. So right now, I'm just going to cut the excess at the down, because right now I want to take the dart for the lower part of this sleeve, and I feel like the excess paper around is going to be giving me issues. So I just decided to cut some part of it away so that it can be easy to work with. Now that I've done that, I also cut the curved area at the top, and now I'm going to take a dart from this center point because I'm trying to avoid any form of bulginess around there. So I just took a dart of about 0.25 on both sides from the center line, and also marking it at this point where I marked my 3 inches before, and I'm just going to go ahead and connect it to the top, okay? So I didn't connect it to the extended part of the paper, I only connected it to the actual sleeve curve like this, okay? So you can actually connect it to the other part of the paper, but I think this is actually going to work, and this is what I want. Although if we make our dart this way, it might make the paper to not be entirely straight. Yes, I also observed that, but it doesn't really matter for now, because that part is going to be, we're going to be having a kind of gathers there, and it's not going to really matter. So after closing the dart, I'm trying to smoothen the lines, and now I'm using my marker to make it visible so that we can see it very well. So closing the dart will help it align well, instead of just connecting them together with your free hand. So like I said, you can use your free hand or you can use your curve. After doing this, I went ahead to cut it out, and after cutting it, trust me, we are done with this. I will just try to smoothen that area. Like I said, because of the dart, it might not be entirely straight, but you can still be careful to achieve something that is almost perfect. So look at it now. This is our sleeve. This is our cap sleeve. All I need to do is transfer this to my fabric. So I noticed that the extended paper I have there was trying to shake and move around, so I just used my pin to secure it down so that it can stay. So by the time you fix your sleeve, this is what it should look like when you fixing it on your sleeve. So I'm going to cut it out of my fabric. So I cut it out on both the fabric and the lining pieces. Okay, so soulmate, I want to say that you can actually go ahead and iron hairstay on your fabric before doing the joining and all of that, but I did not use hairstay. Okay, I just went ahead to place my fabric and my lining right side facing each other, and I stitched towards the back, that is on the back part. So by the time I stitch it there, the right side is going to be in the inside. This is what it looks like after stitching half of an inch on the edge. So this is what it's going to look like if you do the same. So I'm just going to take the two sides like this and join them together, right side facing each other, where the lining is facing itself and the fabric is facing itself. And at that point I'm going to be holding it with half of an inch. Okay, so after joining it, I went ahead to, open it up, like fold it this way, and after doing that, I smoothened it. You can also press this, okay? I just went ahead to, stitch a loose stitch around that curvy area. As you can see, there is a loose stitch at that point, and I'm trying to do this to create a gather at that point. You know that we added the extra paper at the when we're drafting the pattern. We added extra paper because we wanted to create a gathers, for you to have a little bit of this puff there, and that's why we are doing this. So just go ahead and make a loose stitch. Do not back stitch when you're doing this, so that you can be able to drag the thread and create a gather. So after creating the gathers, I'm trying to measure it just to ensure that the wideness that I have there is the same length with what I have on my armhole area for the dress actually. So the curve or the area for the armhole for the dress must be the same with what we have for the sleeve, so that when you're sewing, of course, it's going to align. So I'm just taking my time to adjust it and ensure that I create that gathers there and still have equal size of what I want on my dress. Okay, so go ahead and do this. Take your time to do this. Okay, fixing gathers sometimes is not so easy, but this is not so much gathers. If you notice, I also make the gathers to be at the top. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm placing this lower part, ensuring that it aligns with the joining at that side, and I'm taking the center point of the sleeve and aligning it to the shoulder line as well, for where my armhole curve is. As you can see, I'm making sure that they align, so that when we are stitching them, they will be in the same accord. So just go ahead and do this, and by the time you join it, it's going to be okay. So I just open the zip at the back so that I can be able to open it from the back, and I'll sew it. So by the time I join it, this is what it's going to look like. You're just going to be joining it from the side with half of an inch all round. So you can also use your pin to hold it in place, so that when you're stitching, it doesn't give you issue. So just go ahead and stitch all around with half of an inch, and then repeat the same thing for the other part. So after that, this is what it looks like after I've joined the sleeve. As you can see, it's already looking it's already giving the shape that it's meant to give. So this is what it looks like on my mannequin. So at this point, we're actually done making this sleeve and this dress. If you find this very helpful, please give us a thumbs up, share our video, subscribe to our channel so you can get more videos. Thank you for watching. See you guys in my next video.